Alright, so first off, I'd like to say Kal Halal, Yehovash, Shaibash, Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of great stone. Shalom to you, brothers out there, push this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to you, sisters out there, you that believe and listen. Right, it's the brother Ash, actually, from GMS Jamaica. Right, coming at you with another video. It's an impromptu, I think I'm gonna, rotate this one around, being careful, being circumspect, pay attention to what's going on, right, in your environment, watching what's going on, on a global scale, locally, wherever you are, just paying attention in general. Hey, we know that, the days, things waxing worse and worse as they go by, whether economically, geopolitically, even, the currency, whatever country the cost of living, the social stability, right? We know that all of these things, ramping up, and we have to know where we stand, as men of the Lord, as these things, come to pass, right? You have to know where you stand, as a man of the Lord, because you don't want to get caught up in a certain crowd or a certain energy that might lead to you, wrongfully getting incarcerated or even, put to death. Case in point, when the rioting and so forth start, and the looting, you want to stay far away from that, as far away from that as possible, right? Any war conflict, you want to stay far from that, right? You got to remain spiritual, you got to remain in the spirit, right? You can't be caught up in that energy, right? You can't be caught up in that energy, and even more, not well more, but even now, on a day-to-day basis, you have to be careful where you are and what you're doing. Hey, the scripture said right here, I have it in front of me. This is Ephesians 5 verse 15. It says, see that ye walk circumspect, not as fools, but as wise. You have to be careful, circumspect, basically be mindful of your environment, right? You got to be watching, and not only watching what's going on in your immediate environment, but watching what's going on around the world, right? You got to be prudent. The scripture says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself thereof, or hideth himself before, just paraphrasing, right? You got to hide, you got to be circumspect, you got to be watching what's taking place, right? Especially, geopolitically, because that's going to lead to a war, right? I mean, that's going to escalate the war, because the war has already begun. Even with Israel and Iran, that war has already begun. I mean, it's gone back to the proxy stage, but for how long, right? For how long? The Lord said, earth not earth, nor the sea, not living things, until I have sealed my servants in their forehead. And basically, that's all. That is the point where we're literally, the war could have broken out 5 years ago, right? With the killing of that Iranian general, it could have started there. But it's the Lord is the one who's literally having those angels hold back this war. So you always have to be mindful and watching what's going on, because at any minute that can go off. Right? Continuing, it's a redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Right? The days are evil. If you're watching news, any at all, you see, there was another school shooting the other day. I think it was yesterday or the day before. There was another school shooting, right? The days are evil. Not to mention, the day-to-day, Jake killing each other on a daily basis. Not to forget that, right now in Jamaica, you have a war between gunmen and law enforcement, in Spanish Town, right? But the days are evil, right? Men. Hey, it's not like a couple years ago, when you would get in a fight, and you throw some punches, and then maybe that's it. You know, you see each other tomorrow, you might not talk, but you know, you're not thinking about killing each other. Nowadays, if you get in any altercation, you know, look for somebody, go and try to kill somebody else. Right? That's just how it is. Right? Men's heart are what's cold and more cold. Right? The same situation with relationships, you know, men and women. If you find that, you know, somebody might be upset and find himself want to kill the other person. Right? It's just the time that we're living in. Right? It's just that time where these things are going to happen. It's just that time. It's just up to us as men of the Lord to remain in the spirit of the Lord. Right? Know what's going on. Understand that what's taking place is from the Lord. Right? Understanding, you know, understanding what's happening, right? From a spiritual perspective at all times. There's nothing random happening on the planet. There's nothing random. Everything is a part of the Lord's, if you want to say movie, right? But it's a part of the Lord's script. Right? It's his script. And things are playing out as he wants them to play out. Right? So you can't take anything for granted. Right? You can't look past anything. Right? And with that, you have to try to keep yourself, you know, walking that narrow line. Right? In terms of things that you do and things that you don't do. You got to be careful. Right? If you want to focus on anything, focus on this truth. Focus on bringing out this truth. Focus on edifying, you know, the elect. Focus on that. That's something good to focus on. Right? Anything else might get you, you know, pulled away into outer darkness. Next thing you get so caught up, you know, wrong place, wrong time, and that's your ass, you know. These things can happen. These things can happen, and you know, you have to be mindful. As I said earlier, I think you get caught up in even your day-to-day life, right? With even the person you call your spouse, even there you have to be careful what you get caught up in. Because as I said, you know, the days are evil, and you might find that, you know, you get so emotionally caught up and bankrupt, but you get so emotionally bankrupt. That's a new one. You get so emotionally bankrupt, you know, you lose everything. You might find yourself doing something, you know, that might end you up in prison. Right? That's why you got to remain in the spirit. Because if you're in the spirit, then you understand the situation that's going on. The scripture has said what? It said, if you want to marry, you sin not, but know this, you shall have trouble in the flesh. Just paraphrasing. He said, so you got to be mindful of these things. You can't lose yourself in anything at all. Let me just grab that precept real quick. In 2 Ezra 14 and verse 14. Yeah, I don't think it's highlighted here. Let me just get these three. Alright, this is 2 Ezra 14 and 14. It says, let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. Right? So the weak nature mean, and the burdens of man, you know, worrying about your day-to-day life, like how you're going to pay your bills. I mean, it's natural for that. And I'm not saying don't do anything to pay your bills. I'm just saying, you cannot let that be the forefront of your worries. Right? You need to be more mindful about making it up out of here. Because you know what? When that war starts and the economy collapses, you're not going to be worrying about any bills. You're going to worry about what is important at that time, which is survival. Right? And the only way you can survive is through Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So why not worry about that from now? Do you think it's not going to happen? Do you think the system is not going to go down? If so be the case, why don't you be prudent and think about, you know, and worry about that ultimate evil, right? Your woman having another person's messing with her box. That is not the ultimate worry, right? She can be replaced 10 times, 100 times full in the kingdom of the Lord. So that's not it. You know, worrying about that get your house, you know, getting a new car. That is not it. Worry about if you're gonna bingo on that stock. That's not it. Because whatever we give up here, the scripture had said it. You know, we're gonna get it 100-fold in the kingdom. So the kingdom should be the ultimate prize, not what's going on here. What's going on here shall pass, and we see it every day. Every day, you know someone that dies, or heard about someone that died, right? So what's the profit? What profits? What is it? What profit us to put yourself through all that stress here when you can lose it in an instant? Literally going home this evening, you can lose your life. Right? You can have to walk in the street and a stray bullet, a car, or just heart failure. Right? So why are you worrying about these things on this side? Hey, what I always tell, this one specific person is that whenever you feel stressed, put yourself in someone else's shoes. Case in point, if you feel stressed about, going to work daily and your boss giving you a lot of tasks, think about people that are living in Yemen and Palestine and those places right now, where they're going to work, and it's not their bosses they worry about. They're worrying about a mortar shell, falling in the building, a missile falling in the building where they're working. Or on their way to work, a stray missile or bullet, hitting them. That's what they worry about. It's not about, I was supposed to do 2 things today, my boss gave me 3, and I feel so stressed about it. And hey, that's petty. That is petty. That's just out of the world, stupid, if you want to ask me. If you want something to really worry about what's going to happen in the time of Jacob's trouble. When all these hell break loose, what you going to do then? What are you going to do then? If one extra task from your boss is causing you to lose it, what are you going to do in that time? If your spouse, messing around, causing you to lose here, what are you going to do in the time of Jacob's trouble? Right? When your loved ones and other people dying around you, what are you going to do then? When you can't find food to eat, what are you going to do then? When there are actual diseases and outbreaks going on, wild animals killing and eating people, what are you going to do then if you can't handle that? And these are some of the reasons why the Lord said men's face shall wax pale, right? And they're going to cry like travailing women. Because you was not preparing yourself spiritually for these things. Let me just continue, because I just read the first verse. Let me just continue. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste to flee from these times. That is what you need to be doing. Hasten to flee from these times, because the evil is going to wax worse and worse. Things are not going to get better. Right? You have to be prepared now. When the scripture said leave out of Babylon, you have to do that mentally first. You have to have left the building. The scripture also said, I just read it, I think it's in 1 Corinthians 5, where he said, though we be present in body, but not in spirit. Just paraphrasing, right? But because we're here in the flesh, we're here, on planet Earth, going through what everybody else is going through. But in the spirit, we're not here. In the spirit, we're meditating on the kingdom. We're meditating on the things that belong to Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. We're hoping for that side of things to come. We're hoping for the kingdom. We're not putting our hope in this society, because this society has already failed and has already failed us. So how can we want to latch ourselves onto this? It is not going to be beneficial to you in the long run. And I said long run, but it's going to be in the short run, because it's not long from now. We're slowly but surely moving to that point. Believe it or not. Next verse is, for yet greater evils than those which have seen shall be done hereafter. So you might consider your spouse, or if some extra money you're supposed to get, oh, this is the worst thing ever, or whatever. But hey, that's mortal thoughts, right? That's the burdens of man. That's a weak nature that's worrying about that, right? Weak nature, especially about worrying about your spouse and what that person is doing. That's weak nature. Losing sleep over that. Hey, Hey, don't talk to me about that. Right now you need to be worrying. You need to have your energy in the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, doing what the Lord bid us to do, right? Which is put in this work. That's what your energy should be in. That's what you should be thinking about. Right? That female can go. Those problems, they can go. I do what I can, to pass through, but that's about it. That's all I'm doing, passing through. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're pilgrims. We're supposed to be passing through. Right? This is not our rest. Let us strive to get to our rest. And it might to the person listening, that's a Christian or whatever, atheist. It might sound crazy me saying that, because you don't know anything else, right? You think you can only materialize what you see in your immediate environment. But the scripture, Yahweh Shai said, I think it was to Timothy, say, indeed you see and believe, but blessed are them that see not and yet believe. That's faith right there, and that's what they call us. They call us faith-based Israelites, which is wonderful, because that's what we are. Because we have faith that the Lord is going to deliver on what He promised to us, and that is beautiful. That is beautiful, right? And you might think us crazy to put our faith in something that we cannot see, but what is hope? Hope is the evidence of things hoped for. Let me just get it. I think it's where is it again? I think it's Hebrews. Just running the brain here, just a second. Hold on, just a second. Sorry for the delay. I'm sorry. It's Hebrews 11:1. Right, I had it backwards, but let me just straighten it out. It says, for faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. So we're not seeing it, but our hope is that, our faith is that, faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? So our faith is the substance that fuels our hope, right? Our faith is the substance that fuels our hope, because we have faith that the Lord is going to deliver on what He promised. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.